Let's talk about the possibility of not just a sugar tax on fizzy drinks, possibly even on milkshakes, but also a calorie tax, a calorie levy. That's what campaigners are urging the government to bring in. They say we should have a calorie tax on cakes, biscuits and other processed food that is high in calories because that is what is needed to tackle this obesity crisis we've just been talking about. Let's talk to Dr. Kawther Hashem, who's a campaign lead at Action on Sugar, based at Queen Mary University. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why should we have a tax on high-calorie foods?
So the idea of the soft drinks industry levy, it's a tax on the manufacturers of soft drinks. We've seen success of it because they've gradually reduced the levels of sugar in those drinks. We are, as a result, in the last 2 years, have been consuming significantly less sugar from soft drinks. A similar idea could be applied for all the snack foods that we're having quite a lot of, such as cakes, biscuits and chocolate. It's an opportunity, it's a tax on the manufacturers. It's an opportunity for them to reduce the levels of fat and calories and sugar in their products gradually. And if they don't, then perhaps they need to pay this levy. So it's not necessarily that they
wait a
will
second.
have to pay
Wait. It won't be the manufacturers paying the levy. It'll be consumers paying the levy, won't it? Now, you say we've had a big fall in people consuming sugary soft drinks. Well, I mean, that it was already falling. More and more people now buy diet drinks deliberately. They've got that choice in the market already. If someone wants to buy a fat Coke instead of a diet Coke, seems to me in a free country they should be entitled to do so. But you talk about snack foods, you talk about cake and biscuits and chocolate. Now, I'm very much of the view that I don't want unnecessary sugar and fat piled into, say a pasta dish, into bread, into cereals, and particularly into items that are aimed at children and often marketed as being healthy with all the vitamins and all that. But when it comes to me, when I buy a cake, or when I buy a biscuit, or when I buy chocolate, I know it's got sugar and fat in it. I know it's high calorie. That's why it tastes nice. It's a fun treat. If some people are choosing to eat too much of this stuff, they know they shouldn't, they do it anyway. Why should the rest of us be penalised with higher prices because some people don't have self-control?
I think, again, the idea behind it is to get the manufacturers to gradually reduce those levels. We've seen that, for example, you can get a chocolate cake that has about 20% or even more variation in levels of fat. That suggests that if one manufacturer can make that cake equally indulgent but with lower levels of total calories, it's not a healthier product. It's not a healthy product. It's just relatively more contributes to less calories.
I can tell you the difference between those two products. One of them tastes better than the other one, and the one with more fat and more sugar tastes a lot better. That's why those items are in there. But the consumer already knows. We have calorie information. You can see that this piece of cake is going to be 500 calories, and that piece of cake is going to be 600 calories, and you can make a choice. Why? What is it the business of the government to tell manufacturers not to offer that choice to people in a free country? Why do you think it's your business or the government's business to tell people how many calories they can consume?
Because I think that companies have got away for far too long, kind of encouraging us, manipulating our behaviour through advertising, marketing and promotion.
Manipulating. Okay. Do you mind me asking, Kawther, are you overweight?
I'm not overweight.
You're not overweight. How have you managed not to be overweight?
Well,
given that we're being manipulated and coerced into buying this stuff, how have you managed?
I still would end up buying some products on promotions, and I know it has an impact on my behaviour.
Wait a minute. So sometimes you want to eat something that's quite high in sugar and fat because it tastes darn good, and you think you should have to pay more for that. Do you mean is it self-flagellation that you think you should be punished and have to pay more? Maybe you could just enjoy eating a cake or a bit of chocolate and not think you have to be punished for it.
Absolutely, and I don't disagree with you. I think we can enjoy it. I think there is opportunity for companies to reduce the levels of sugar and fats and calories in those types of
products.
Without
affecting the taste?
Without affecting the taste, because some products that are best-selling products still exist on the market that are lower in calories. The variation is so
hold
wide.
on a minute. You just undermined your whole argument. So there are some lower calorie items that are best-selling items which people are choosing to buy. So why are you having to interfere with the people who want to buy the high-calorie items? Some people need a lot of calories. There are some people, particularly in older age, people who are very, very, very thin, actually they need to put on weight. What? This is the thing. People make choices in their lives. People know there isn't a single person in this country who's got, a mental age over the age of 5 who doesn't know that eating a big slab of chocolate cake is going to be high calorie. And if they don't do a commensurate amount of exercise to get rid of that, they are going to put weight on, other things being equal. So what is it the business of the state to tell people they can't eat that stuff?
I think there is opportunity for us to have manufacturers take some responsibility for the products that they sell and market.
What they do, they put the calorie count on.
No, I don't think labelling is sufficient. It's not going to solve this problem.
Has it worked for you? I mean, you presumably are not fat because you don't buy the high-calorie stuff. Is it just that everyone else is too...
We would have not had it right now. I think we would still need more than just labelling at the moment. In fact, labelling is quite complex currently.
It is, yeah.
Very good labelling for sugar on products. It's always total sugars, and there's complexity around that because it's not all types of sugars that we need to be reducing in our diets. There are sugars from fruits that are absolutely fine, but they're not labelled correctly on products. I don't think labelling is sufficient. We need more than just labelling. Just like we've seen with the soft drinks industry levy, there's been opportunity for them to gradually reduce it. You said that there was already diet drinks, absolutely, but it's not just the diet drinks. It's the full-fat versions that have gradually come down too. The vast majority of supermarket choices have gradually reduced levels of sugar in those products. That is a big impact on how much sugar we're having and creating more choice for consumers. And I think there is opportunity for that to be applied elsewhere. It will have to be consulted on and investigated by government to see if it's a plausible idea for the UK to do something like that. This is a suggestion because we've seen other countries do the same thing and actually it has reduced intake.
We've also seen other countries. We've also seen other countries introduce things like sugar tax, and it hasn't reduced intake, or it's just continued the same level of intake that's been going down anyway. I just think a lot of people are just very concerned at the idea that people are just wanting to push up prices. Yes, in some cases we may see that the sugar count and the fat count goes down, but the amount that you'll want it to go down, maybe like 10%. Next year you'll want 20%. Next year you'll want 30%. And eventually we're going to end up with cakes and chocolates that taste absolutely horrible, and the government telling us what we can and can't eat. Do you not think that, just fundamentally, we should give everyone full information, make sure the information on the front of products is very, very clear? If we go to the traffic light thing, look, this has got more than X number of calories, a big red circle on it saying that. But then if people choose to carry on eating it, then the manufacturers should be allowed to carry on making it.
I think labelling can be improved. That is one step, but I think it won't be sufficient alone to be enough to tackle the 62% of our population that are currently overweight or obese.
62% of our population are not overweight or obese. That's a nonsense statistic.
No, it's absolutely correct. It is surprising that currently the state of the UK is 62% of the population are overweight or obese. If we look at children, about a third of them are overweight or obese.
But again, if you look at the figures, between 16 and 18, we have a massive plummeting in the number of people, children or adults, who are obese, because you change the way that you actually work out whether people are obese or not. Again, I'm just kind of the view that I'm worried about children being obese, but if adults want to be obese and it's their choice, seems to me you should just let them get on with their own lives. But